Sometimes we might look around and see someone just suddenly come on the scene and ask, where did he come from? Hi, this is Barry Phillips of Timid toward day one of Pinchas, and we are in the book of Numbers, but Midbar chapter number 25. Let's start with verse 10. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Pinchas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, has turned back my wrath from the children of Israel, because he was ardent with my ardor in their midst, so that I did not consume the children of Israel in my ardor. Therefore say, see, I am giving him my covenant of peace. Sometimes as I said, we just look around and wonder, where did these people come from? Or how did they just suddenly pop on the screen or on the scene, be more correct there. Pinchas is not someone without a significant lineage. After all, he is the son of Eleazar, the current high priest, the grandson of Aaron, the first high priest. If we go back to the book of Exodus or Shemot chapter 6, we start seeing the lineage of this family. In verse 25, it says that Eleazar, the current high priest, that he took a daughter of Putiel. Putiel is another of the names given to Jethro. And so Jethro is Moshe's father-in-law. He is a Midianite priest. Therefore, the daughter of Putiel, or Jethro, is also a Midianite. And Pinchas means dark-skinned. It could be then that the Midianites were a more dark-skinned group of people. Now, who are the Midianites? I'm glad you asked that question. If we go back to all the way to Abraham, after Sarah dies, Abraham took another wife, Keturah, and with Keturah, then he had 6 sons, one of which was Midian. And so we see then that it's possible that Keturah was a Midianite, possibly a dark-skinned woman, and that these 6 sons were possibly darker-skinned. We don't know that Abraham was a pale white-faced guy himself. I mean, we just don't know. It's more likely being Middle Eastern or coming from the Iraqi area. He had darker skin as well. That now understood, we realize then that there is a mixture in Pinchas, a Midianite and Israeli combination here. Why is that significant? It's significant in this regard, I think. Midian, the son of Abraham, was one of those sons among the 6 that was blessed and sent away so that they would not compete with Isaac, for the covenant blessings that Yah says will go from Abraham to Yitzhak and then to Yitzhak's son Yaakov. That was Yah's chosen progression. Lest these sons compete along with Ishmael for then this covenant that Yah has given to Abraham, they're sent away. As being sons of Abraham, however, Abraham would have continually obeyed the command of Yah to circumcise his sons. So in the body, they would have bore the mark of circumcision, the mark and the seal of the covenant, but they would not have walked in the fullness of its benefits if they chose to walk contrary to the covenant itself. We know that the Midianites, recently we just read about them partnering with Balak and Moab and warring against Israel, and they were involved in sorcery and paganism. So it would seem that the Midianites have fallen off of the covenant table. Pinchas, however, does have evidently some family emotional ties here. Yet he does not resist the need of rising up to the occasion. What has happened at the end of last week's Torah portion is that a man of Israel has brought in a woman of Midian, and he has paraded her before the eyes of all Israel, promoting the understanding that she is permitted to me. This was a Midianite woman. The man was Israel. This is a forbidden relationship at this point because the Midianites are idolatrous and they're not accepting of Yahweh at all. Therefore, Pinchas rises up to the occasion and goes in with a spear and kills both of them to abort the impending wrath of Yah. Where I'm going with this is that there are times that people rise to the occasion. Sometimes we hear a phrase like, somebody ought to do something. Well, who is the somebody? If we see a need, we are supposed to be involved in the meeting of that need. We can't just turn our eyes and whistle and put our fingers in our ears and act as though I'm really oblivious. I didn't see anything. I don't know anything, and I'm just not going to get involved in that. Now, you can't start dishing out funds and so forth to every claim of poverty or of great need, because many are illegitimate and they're scams. So you have to be careful. But Yeshua says that we are to, when we see the needy, when we see the hungry, feed them. If you see someone without clothes, clothe them. If you know someone that is in prison, go see them. You know someone is sick, go and encourage them. When we do this, even to the least of those that are on the society scale of things, he said, as you've done it to them, you've done it to me. And when you reject doing those things, you're rejecting me as well. Somebody ought to rise up and do something. There's a case of this in the book of Mark. In Mark chapter number 1, it says, in the beginning of the good news of Yeshua Messiah, the Son of Elohim, as it has been written in the prophets, see, I send my messenger before your face, who shall prepare your way before you. A voice of one crying in the wilderness, prepare the way of Yahweh, make his paths straight. Yochanan, John the Baptist, Yochanan came immersing in the wilderness and proclaiming an immersion of repentance for the forgiveness of sins. Where did he come from? Where did this guy show up from? Well, we're told about his miraculous birth, but that was a long time ago. And suddenly it would seem Yochanan, the immerser, John the Baptist, is just shown up. And I'm sure that the religious authorities were scratching their head and thinking, who gave him authority to do any of this? Well, he was a son, or the son, of a Cohen, a priest of the family of Aaron, but suddenly he just shows up. I think in our day, Yah is still looking for some folks to suddenly show up. And you might think, well, who am I? I don't have learning. I don't have pedigree. I don't have a name or a title. None of those things really matter. We're told this in 1 Corinthians chapter number 1, verse 26 says, for look at your calling, brothers, that not many were wise according to the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble. But Elohim has chosen the foolish matters of the world to put to shame the wise, and Elohim has chosen the weak of the world to put to shame the strong. Yah is looking for availability and a willing heart and a listening ear and hands that are saying, just show me what to do, where to be, what to say, how to present your heart, and I'm available. Be available today, and I'll see you again tomorrow. To then, shalom.